All right, some words of advice that I have for you. Some things that we saw, and some things that probably need some clarity. We're going to go over that right now, and I just want you to see it with me so that way we can kind of go through that process. First things first, I saw that you were doing a close read on Lewis and Clark, and uh, automatically when you started, there was some rumblings and things like that. And Miss Patrick kind of modeled for you, and I don't have the video of that, but she modeled for you very much the expectation. She went up there and she was like, "Boys and girls, I want you to put your pencils down. Um, I want you to look up here. We're going to be reading about Lewis and Clark. So we're going to be knowing things about Lewis and Clark." And I don't know if she even said this, but I mean, I would say, like, what we're expecting of you is to answer the questions at the end of this close read. As we close read, we're going to closely read, we're going to closely think, and then we're going to closely answer questions. The setting up expectations for anything that you're doing in a close read, or math lesson or anything, is going to make sure that they are gravitating uh, toward your message, which is what you want to happen. Okay. So here's some other things that I would have done. You know automatically that this reading, as you read it, if you read it beforehand, you can already see there are some things that honestly are going to make no sense to an 8-year-old or 7-year-old. Okay. So things that I would see that don't make sense, I would make sure that they have pictures to just bring into focus exactly what we're talking about. Because I want, as a teacher, for them to answer the questions the best of their ability. So if you see right here, I'm going to screen share this. Okay. And I would just pick a Google slide and I would just add pictures in that Google slide of things I know we're going to talk about. So the first thing I know we're going to talk about is we are going to talk about the United States and a map of the United States. So I would go to image, I would go to search the web, and then I would type in United States map. Insert that. Okay. So I would have a picture of the map so we can see where Louisiana is. The Louisiana Purchase happened here on the west, right? So I would see how that is. All right. The other thing I would see is I would try to figure out, I know it says the word killboats. They might not know what a killboat is. I don't know what a killboat is. So might pick a picture of killboats. Oh, there they are. That makes a lot more sense. Here's the older picture. So this brings them, and this also talks about the time and what, is this an older time? Is this a future time? Letting them go ahead and get that curiosity out of the way. We could definitely search the web for Thomas Jefferson and Napoleon, and Napoleon Bonaparte. Let them see pictures of these people. Because again, why not? It's easy for me to create this. And if I'm going to look at this beforehand, I can easily look at this beforehand and see, you know, what are some pictures they would need before they get into this. Now, let's go into the tape. Okay. So we show them pictures and things like that. And here you are summarizing what they are doing. So let's listen to this. So what you did is you did a summary, which is great. But the problem is summary is not an innate skill. It's a learned behavior. So watch Miss Patrick as she actually thinks aloud. So she's not just saying it. She's thinking it, and she's doing it in a way in which it breeds curiosity, because these kids need to also be curious about the text. Okay? So she's modeling curiosity. And so listen to the questions that she asks, listen to the observations that she makes out loud.
Back in the 1800s. So first of all, I know that this is something that happened a long time ago.
So immediately she's thinking like a child. So 1800s, and even if they don't connect that 1800s is a long time ago, she's letting them know. So she is hitting all those things because these students are not coming in with innate knowledge told about Lewis and Clark. Now, y'all have talked about Lewis and Clark for a long time, but what she's doing is she's activating the curiosity, and activating the thinking skill, modeling how to think about things while you read it. Because that's really what we want is for when these kids get to the reading, they can model these same skills. Listen to more to what she says.
So the first question I have is, why did the president of the United States way back in the 1800s want to buy this land?
Again, questioning out loud. If you don't know how to question out loud, just ask, what is this text about? Who are the people in it? Like, ask the basic questions, because that's going to get them to activate what they think is a curiosity. When did this happen? I mean, these are all things that you can do to encourage thought process within your students.
And why in the world did he pay so much for this land? He paid $15 million. So, to sum up what I read so far, the president back in the 1800s, his name was Thomas Jefferson. The land from Napoleon. So he was a rich man and he paid a lot of money for it.
So she just summarized exactly what you summarized, but what she did differently is she questioned herself before she actually summarized. So there's the difference. She went through the thought process. When you are doing the same thing in close reading, you want to go through the thought process. The other thing that you want to do is when you go through the questioning, you want to be able to look at the questioning first before you can actually go into before you actually go into the reading. I love to talk about the questions. Why not? We're looking for presidents. We're looking for the events of Lewis and Clark. We're looking for where did they end up. Looking at the questions beforehand give kids also prior knowledge skill of what they need to do before they answer. And those are the kind of things that you have to do, because if not, you're going to get the same 3 or 4 kids to ask the same questions over and over again, and you're going to have everybody else lost off in space. You've got to make it more engaging, and the way to make it more engaging is to think like a student and go through that thought process skill, and then summarize like a student. So asking the questions like, who is this? What are they doing here? What's the event? So when I ask those questions, here's what I think. I think the president gave money to the French for land that they could have of the country. That is modeling how to closely read. Okay.